The world spun like a broken carousel as I clutched the subway pole. The screech of metal on tracks echoing my pounding headache. Black spots danced before my eyes, and before I could gasp for air, my knees buckled, sending me tumbling toward the grimy floor of the New York City train. But strong arms wrapped around me, pulling me back from the abyss, and a voice deep, urgent whispered, "Hey, stay with me," as the stranger's masked face hovered inches from mine, his eyes wide with unexpected recognition. I blinked, disoriented, the fluorescent lights blurring into halos. The crowd around us shifted uncomfortably, murmurs rippling through the car like waves in a stormy sea. He eased me onto a seat, his grip firm yet gentle, rummaging through his backpack with one hand while supporting my head with the other. "Low blood sugar?" he asked, his voice muffled by the surgical mask that still hid most of his features. I nodded weakly, too dazed to speak, my mind racing to place why those hazel eyes felt so familiar, like a half-remembered dream from a lifetime ago. He pulled out a crinkled packet of peppermint candies, unwrapping one swiftly and pressing it to my lips. "Here, suck on this. It'll help." The sweetness exploded on my tongue, grounding me as the sugar hit my system. As my vision cleared, he hesitated, then reached up and tugged down his mask, revealing a chiseled jawline dusted with stubble and a smile that hit me like a freight train. "Alex," he said, his voice cracking with emotion. "Alex Thompson. It's me. Jordan. Jordan Reyes." The name slammed into me, unlocking a floodgate of memories I'd buried deep under layers of denial and heartbreak. We grew up together in the sleepy suburbs of Chicago, best friends from the sandbox days, inseparable through high school. But it was more than that: stolen kisses behind the bleachers, whispered promises under starry nights, the kind of young love that burned bright and fierce. Then came the summer after graduation, when his conservative family discovered us, and everything shattered. Threats of disownment, forced therapy sessions, and Jordan vanishing overnight, leaving me with a note that read, "I have to go. Forgive me." I hadn't seen him in 10 years. Now, here he was, on a packed subway in Manhattan, saving me from face-planting in front of strangers. My heart raced, a mix of joy and fury bubbling up. "Jordan, what the hell?" I managed, sitting up straighter as the train jolted into the next station. He glanced around nervously, as if expecting ghosts from our past to appear. "Not here," he murmured, helping me to my feet. "Let's get off at the next stop. We need to talk." We spilled out onto the platform at 59th Street Columbus Circle, the evening rush hour swirling around us like a human tornado. Jordan led me to a quieter corner, away from the throngs of commuters, his hand lingering on my arm a second too long. Close. He looked different, older, more rugged, with faint lines around his eyes that spoke of battles fought alone. He was dressed in a crisp button-down and slacks, a messenger bag slung over his shoulder, screaming corporate drone in the city's relentless grind. "I moved here 2 years ago," he explained, his words tumbling out like they'd been pent up for a decade. "Tech job at a startup in Midtown. I never thought I'd run into you like this. God, Alex, you look good. What are you doing in New York?" I rubbed my temples, the candy's mint lingering like a bittersweet reminder. "Graphic designer for an ad agency. Been here since college." I paused, the weight of unspoken questions pressing down. "Why did you leave like that?" No calls. No emails. You just disappeared. His face crumpled, regret etching deep furrows. My parents. They gave me an ultimatum. College fund or you. I was scared. Alex. 18 and terrified. I chose wrong. He reached out, his fingers brushing mine, sending sparks up my arm. I've regretted it every day. Searched for you online. But you changed your last name or something. Thompson was my mom's maiden name. I said softly. After the fallout, I needed a fresh start. The air between us crackled with tension. The kind that could ignite into passion or explode into anger. Part of me wanted to walk away, to protect the scars he'd left. But another part, the one that still dreamed of him, yearned to bridge the gap. We ended up at a nearby coffee shop. The kind with exposed brick walls and overpriced lattes. Tucked into a booth where the world faded away. Hours slipped by as we unpacked the lost years. Jordan had gone to MIT on his parents' dime. Buried his sexuality under a facade of straight relationships that never lasted. I came out last year. He confessed, his voice trembling. Told my family everything. They cut me off. But it was freeing. Like breathing for the first time. I shared my own journey therapy. Pride parades. A string of casual dates that never filled the void he left. As the sun dipped below the skyline, casting golden hues through the window, our conversation turned intimate. I never stopped loving you, he whispered, his hand covering mine on the table. The touch was electric, pulling me back to those innocent days. That night, we walked through Central Park. The autumn leaves crunching underfoot, our shoulders brushing. When he kissed me under a canopy of oaks, it was like coming home, soft at first, then deepening with the hunger of years denied. But as passion flared, doubts crept in. Was this real, or just nostalgia's cruel trick? The next few weeks were a whirlwind. Jordan and I rekindled our flame with the intensity of a New York summer storm. Dates at hidden speakeasies in the village. Lazy Sundays in my Brooklyn apartment. Bodies entwined as we whispered secrets into the dawn. He was everything I remembered, witty, kind, with a laugh that lit up rooms. But shadows loomed. One evening, as we strolled hand in hand through Washington Square Park, Jordan's phone buzzed incessantly. He silenced it, but his jaw tightened. Work? I asked, squeezing his hand. He hesitated. No. My ex, Marcus. We broke up months ago, but he's not taking it well. My stomach twisted. Ex, you didn't mention him. It's complicated. Jordan sighed, pulling me onto a bench. We met at work. He helped me come out. But things turned toxic. Jealousy. Control. I ended it. But he keeps calling. Showing up at my building. Alarm bells rang. But I pushed them aside. Lost in the romance. As long as you're done with him, I said, kissing his forehead. Little did I know, Marcus was just the tip of the iceberg. Days later, I received an anonymous email at work. Grainy photos of Jordan and me kissing. With a message, does your boss know about your little secret? My agency was progressive, but the threat chilled me. Who was watching us? I confronted Jordan that night over dinner at a cozy Italian spot in Little Italy. Someone's stalking us, I said, showing him the email. His face paled. Marcus. It has to be. He's a hacker, works in cybersecurity. I should have told you more. Anger flared. Why didn't you? This could ruin my career. He reached for me, eyes pleading. I was ashamed. Thought I could handle it alone. But Alex, I need you. We'll face this together. We reported it to the police, but without concrete proof. They could do little. Tension mounted as more messages arrived, texts to Jordan threatening to out him to his estranged family. Packages left at my door with old photos from our high school days. How did Marcus get those? The drama peaked one rainy night. Jordan was at my place when the doorbell rang. Through the peephole, I saw a tall, brooding man with slicked-back hair. Marcus. I presumed. Open up. Jordan. I know you're in there. Jordan froze. But I grabbed my phone, dialing 911. Leave, or the cops are coming. I shouted through the door. Marcus pounded harder. You think you can just replace me with this ghost from your past? I know all your secrets, Reyes. Sirens wailed in the distance, and Marcus fled into the storm. We spent the night holding each other, hearts pounding. I'm sorry, Jordan sobbed. I brought this into your life. I cupped his face. No, we're stronger together. This ends now. The next day, we hired a private investigator, uncovering Marcus's trail of harassment. With evidence in hand, the police arrested him for stalking. As the cuffs clicked, relief washed over us. But the ordeal had tested our bond. In the aftermath, Jordan and I grew closer, our love tempered by fire. We attended therapy together, unpacking old wounds. One crisp fall afternoon, in the same park where we'd reconciled, he got down on one knee. Alex Thompson, will you marry me? Let's build the life we were denied. Tears streamed as I said yes, the ring glinting in the sunlight, a symbol of resilience and hope. But life threw one more curve. Jordan's parents, hearing of the engagement through a mutual friend, reached out. A tentative dinner in Chicago followed, fraught with awkward silences. His mother, eyes misty, admitted, we were wrong. We lost a son because of our fear. Forgiveness didn't come easy, but it bloomed slowly, like spring after a harsh winter. Back in New York, we planned our wedding, a small affair on a rooftop overlooking the city that had reunited us. On our wedding day, as we exchanged vows under a canopy of stars, I reflected on that fateful subway faint. What if I hadn't collapsed? What if Jordan hadn't been there? Fate, it seemed, had a plan. I do, I said, sealing our forever. Our story became a beacon for others, shared at LGBTQ+ support groups, inspiring tales of second chances. In a world quick to judge, we proved love's power to heal, to conquer fear, to rewrite endings. As we danced into the night, Jordan whispered, from a stranger on the subway to this. Who knew? I smiled. Fate did. And a little candy. The honeymoon phase lingered like the sweet aftertaste of that peppermint candy. But reality soon intruded with its sharp edges. Jordan and I settled into a rhythm in my Brooklyn brownstone, which quickly became ours. Mornings started with coffee and kisses. Evenings with debates over takeout Thai or pizza. But beneath the bliss, cracks formed. Invisible at first, then widening like faults in the earth's crust. Jordan's job at the tech startup demanded long hours, often stretching into the night. Another deadline. He'd text, apologizing profusely. I'd wait up, sketching designs on my tablet. But loneliness crept in. One night, he came home at 2 a.m., exhausted and distant. "What's wrong?" I asked, pulling him into bed. He sighed, burying his face in my neck. "The company's pitching to investors. Stress is through the roof." But his eyes held something more: guilt. I dismissed it, chalking it up to paranoia from the Marcus saga. Then came the call that upended everything. It was a Sunday afternoon. We were lounging in Prospect Park, picnicking under a sprawling oak. Jordan's phone rang, and he stepped away to answer. When he returned, his face was ashen. "That was my sister, Elena. Dad's had a heart attack. He's in the hospital back in Chicago." My heart sank. "Go. I'll book a flight with you." He shook his head. "No, Alex. This is complicated. They know about us now, but seeing us together might be too much." Hurt stabbed deep. "I'm your fiancé. I should be there." Tears welled in his eyes. "I know, but give me time to ease them in. Please." Reluctantly, I agreed, watching him board the plane alone. Days turned to a week. Updates sporadic. Dad's stable. He'd message, talking reconciliation. But his voice on calls sounded strained, evasive. When he returned, something had shifted. He was affectionate, but distracted, often staring into space. "What's eating you?" I pressed one evening over dinner. He set down his fork. "Mom and Dad. They want me to come home, help with the family business." And they hinted at expectations, a normal life. Rage boiled. Normal, meaning without me. He grabbed my hands. "No. I told them I'm marrying you. But it's hard. Alex. They're trying. But old habits die slow." That night, passion reignited. Our bodies a battlefield where love conquered doubt. But seeds of insecurity sprouted. Enter Liam Hartley, my charming coworker at the ad agency. Blonde, charismatic, with a smile that could sell ice to Eskimos. We'd collaborated on projects before, but with Jordan away, our lunches stretched longer. "You're glowing," Liam teased one day. "Engaged life suits you." I laughed it off, but his flirtations grew bolder. "If things ever change." He trailed off, winking. I shut it down firmly, but the attention flattered my bruised ego. Jordan noticed upon return. "Who's Liam?" he asked, scrolling my texts innocently. "A friend from work," I replied, but jealousy flared in his eyes, mirroring my own fears. The tension culminated at a company gala. Jordan accompanied me, looking dashing in a tux. But as champagne flowed, old wounds surfaced. A tipsy colleague joked about straight-passing couples, and Jordan bristled. Later, in the ballroom shadows, we argued. "You think I'm ashamed?" he hissed. "Aren't you? Leaving me behind for your family." He pulled me close. "Never. You're my world." We left early, the makeup sex intense. But the next morning, a bombshell dropped. Scrolling news, I saw an article. Jordan's startup acquired by a tech giant for millions. "Why didn't you tell me?" I demanded. He looked sheepish. "I wanted to surprise you. We can buy a house, travel." But it felt like another secret. Trust frayed. Then, the real storm hit. An envelope arrived, unmarked. Inside, photos of Jordan in Chicago. Arm around a woman at a family gathering. Caption: "Is this your fiancé?" My world shattered. Confronting him. Tears streaming. "Who is she?" Jordan's eyes widened. "That's my cousin, Sophia." "Who sent this?" We traced it back, not Marcus, but a disgruntled ex-colleague from his startup. Bitter over the acquisition. Relief flooded. But the damage lingered. "We need to communicate," I said. "No more secrets." He nodded, pulling me into an embrace. "Agreed. Let's plan the wedding. Make it official." As winter blanketed the city, we dove into preparations. Venue scouting in the Hamptons. Cake tastings in Soho. Friends rallied me. Best bud Taylor, a non-binary artist, designed invitations. Jordan's colleague, Mia, offered floral advice. But family drama resurfaced. Jordan's parents agreed to attend, but with conditions: no overt displays. "It's progress," Jordan insisted. I swallowed pride. For us. The bachelor party, thrown by friends in the East Village, was a riot. Drag shows, karaoke. But midway, Liam showed up uninvited. "Congrats," he slurred, pulling me aside. "If you ever need an out." Jordan overheard, fury igniting. "Back off," he growled, shoving Liam. Chaos ensued. But we left together, united. "He's history," I assured. In the quiet aftermath, we reaffirmed our love. Through thick and thin, Jordan vowed. Spring brought renewal. Rehearsal dinner in a quaint Manhattan loft. Tensions easing as Jordan's mom hugged me. "Welcome to the family," she whispered. The wedding dawn broke clear. Vows exchanged with tears. Rings symbolizing eternity. As we kissed, applause erupted. Triumph over adversity. Honeymoon in Hawaii. Waves crashing as we made love under stars. Back home, we adopted a rescue dog, Buster, symbolizing our new chapter. But life tested again. Jordan's dad passed months later, drawing us to Chicago. Amid grief, his family embraced me fully. He'd be proud, his mom said. Our story inspired. A blog post went viral, connecting with queer youth. We volunteered at shelters, paying forward. Years on, anniversaries marked with subway rides. Candy in pockets. From faint to forever. Jordan jokes. Love, we learned, isn't fairy tale perfect. It's messy, resilient, profound, worth every twist. Domestic bliss settled like fresh snow, pure but fleeting. Jordan and I nested in a cozy Upper West Side apartment. Walls adorned with my art and his tech gadgets. Mornings, him brewing coffee. Me sketching at the counter. Evenings, cooking experiments gone hilariously wrong. Laughter echoing. But undercurrents stirred. My agency landed a major client, a national campaign for LGBTQ+ rights. Thrilling, but demanding. Late nights mirrored Jordan's old habits. Irony, he teased, but his smile strained. One evening, returning early, I found him on the balcony, phone pressed to ear. "I can't keep this up," he murmured, heart dropping. I confronted. "Who was that?" He startled. "Therapist. Work stress." Relief, then concern. "Why hide it?" "Didn't want to worry you." We talked deep into night, unveiling his anxiety imposter syndrome post-acquisition. I suggested couples counseling to strengthen us. He agreed. Sessions raw but healing. I fear losing you again. He admitted. Me too. I confessed. Bond deepened. Intimacy soared. Weekend getaways to the Catskills. Hiking hand in hand. Sharing dreams. Then, a curveball: fertility discussions. We wanted kids. Adoption. Surrogacy. Debates passionate, but united. Enter Sofia Ramirez, a surrogate friend introduced via mutuals. Warm. Vibrant. She agreed. Excitement bubbled: ultrasounds. Nursery planning. But complications arose. Sophia's pregnancy hit snags: bed rest ordered. Worry gnawed. Jordan paced. I comforted. One stormy night. Her call: it's time early. Rushing to hospital. Hearts pounding. Baby boy arrived premature but fighter. Holding tiny Ethan. Tears flowed. Our son. Jordan whispered. Parenthood transformed us. Sleepless nights. But joy infinite. Ethan's first smile melted hardships. Challenges persisted. Jordan's mom visited. Bonding over grandson. Healing generational wounds. My campaign launched successfully. Earning accolades. At premiere party. Jordan beamed proudly. But shadows returned. Anonymous threats resurfaced: emails hinting at family secrets. Paranoia gripped. Investigation revealed Marcus, released on parole, seeking revenge. Confrontation loomed. With police, we set a trap. Marcus arrested again. This time for good. Relief profound. No more looking back. I said. Years passed. Ethan grew. Inquisitive. Loving. We taught him acceptance. Pride. 10th anniversary. Vow renewal on subway platform where it began. Friends. Family cheered. Reflecting. Life's tapestry woven with pain. Love. Growth. Our message. Embrace identity. Fight for love. In America's melting pot. We found our place. As Ethan entered school. New horizons dawned. Bullies targeted his two dads. But we armed him with confidence. Love is love. We echoed. Jordan's career pivoted, starting a nonprofit for queer youth in tech. I joined. Blending design with advocacy. Challenges evolved. Teen Ethan rebelled. Questioning roots. Why no mom? He asked. Honest talks ensued. Strengthening bonds. 20th anniversary. Family trip to Chicago. Full circle. Aging gracefully. We mentored others. Our story a legacy. In twilight years. Hand in hand on that subway bench. Jordan said. Best feint ever. I laughed. Best catch. Love's endurance. A testament to humanity's capacity for change. Forgiveness. Unity. Our journey from feint to family proved. In darkness. Light finds a way. Romance. Drama. Meaning intertwined eternally.